Between 1528 and 1647, something entirely unprecedented happened in Genoa. A small republican state became all of a sudden the most powerful and influential economic center in the world, the accounting books of which recorded more money than in any of the other contemporary European kingdoms combined. The person who transformed the old communal city of Genoa into a prominent actor of the international stage was Admiral Andrea Doria. As a resourceful military man and a cunning politician, Andrea understood that everything was changing in Europe and that the defeat of King Francis I of France in 1525 and the sack of Rome 1527 were nothing but the prologue to Emperor Charles V of Habsburg's supremacy in the whole European continent. Andrea immediately made a deal with Charles V in order to guarantee Genoa's independence, while offering the Republic's full support to the Emperor's policy. Some chroniclers of the time, as well as some contemporary frescoes, remind us that this is exactly where Andrea Doria renounced his dominion over the city, in the square of the Curia of the Dorias, named after the ancient church of St. Matthew. Although Doria renounced an official involvement in Genoese politics, his prestige was so high that the ship carrying Charles V, who came in person to Genoa in 1553 to ratify his alliance with the Republic, docked here in the private harbor of Doria's palace, built on the outskirts of the city. Palazzo Doria is an extraordinary villa with frescoes by Perin del Vaga, a pupil of Raphael, and decorated with statues by Giovanangelo Montorsoli and Silvio Cosini, among the others. Andrea Doria's artistic choices set up a high standard for the Genoese aristocracy, who then would introduce similar features in their palaces. The precedent set by Palazzo Doria also showed how interwoven the affirmation of power and the decorative elements of an aristocratic house were in the higher society of La Superba, meaning the superb one, as Genoa has been called ever since. In Antwerp, in 1622, the Flemish painter and diplomat Peter Paul Rubens published an illustrated book devoted to Genoese palaces. The palaces described and drawn by Rubens at the beginning of the 17th century are those that the UNESCO recognized as World Heritage Site in 2006 and that are known as Palazzi dei Rolli. What are the palaces of the Rolli? They are a set of privately owned palaces used by the government of the Republic of Genoa for the so-called ospitaggio, that is, to host international prominent guests during official state visits. Indeed, Rolli is an ancient word for the current Italian ruoli, or elenchi, that is, lists. Hence, it refers to the list of those premises that, thanks to their architectural grandiosity, pictorial richness and interior decoration, were considered apt to host ambassadors, bishops, princes, and noblemen from every corner of the world. This unique system of residences was introduced in 1576 and became necessary because of the special form of government of Genoa, a republic ruled by a powerful aristocracy that became internationally successful thanks to their financial speculations. The quick rise of the Genoese aristocracy in the upper echelons of noble European society forced the Genoese oligarchy to equip themselves with extraordinary and luxurious palaces, which shaped the physiognomy of the city. The palaces of the Rolli bear tangible witness to the complexity of the Genoese aristocratic society and to their capacity to express to their new power and status through marvelous works of art, reaching remarkable frescoes and home to some of the richest collections of artworks ever established in the whole of Europe. At the end of the 16th century, when the city of Genoa reached the peak of its wealth, the list of private palaces employed to host state guests reached more than 100 residences, all comprised within the 17th century city walls. Nowadays, the Palaces of the Rolli complex is still unique in the world. It is so unique as were the financial, political and cultural conditions that made it possible that the historian Fernand Braudel wrote that Genoa between the end of the 16th and the beginning of the 17th century appeared to be the place where the unthinkable became possible. A period of 100 years that could rightly be labeled as the century of the Genoese people.